Trucks, kings of the road with enormous power. Their manufacture demands a good eye, absolute precision, and above all, perfect logistics.
The logistics part is very important. For a company like ours, it makes all the difference. It determines whether we win or lose.
The most powerful engines in the industry for approximately 200 trucks each day. Each one unique, built to the customer's specification in a feat of logistical perfection. Time to the minute. The Volvo FH, one of the most popular trucks in Europe, and every single one must be absolutely reliable and safe. Situated just outside the Belgian town of Ghent lies Volvo's largest truck manufacturing plant. It's the ideal location, close to thousands of customers across Western Europe. Approximately 42,000 trucks are produced here each year, including their bestseller, the Volvo FH. 420 up to 750 horsepower, 2 up to 4 axles, gross combination weight of over 70 metric tons, price starting at 85,000 euros. The mega factory's day begins at the port of Ghent at 6 a.m. with a daily container ship from Sweden. It delivers the most important parts for building the FH. Yannick Maas is responsible for unloading the shipment, and he's under considerable time pressure.
The challenge is to unload the ship and then load it again as quickly as possible. This has to be done in one shift so that the ship can set sail again on time. The containers have to be off as quickly as possible so that the parts are available at the factory on time.
Things happen in rapid succession now, trailer for trailer. Around 75 of the containers on the ship, each weighing up to 30 metric tons, are destined for the mega factory. Secured with a special anchoring system and parked as close as possible to maximize load capacity aboard ship, these need to be landed and on the road as soon as possible. They contain everything from steel girders for the chassis, axles, gearboxes, and small items, to radios, microwaves, and truck engines, all locked, loaded, and ready to continue their journey to the factory. Another key component of the Volvo FH has just arrived at the port too, this time by train. The cabs. They come from Sweden as well. The specialists in Ghent turned the raw, naked cab into a completely furnished long-haul truck cab, customized according to the customer's wishes.
These stickers indicate the cab model and chassis number. They're here on our list too. Unfortunately, they're not always loaded onto the train in the right order. For instance, 448 is here, and beside it, 440. So, we first have to line up the cabs properly on the parking lot here, so they arrive at the factory in the correct order.
Everything in the factory is governed by the chassis numbers. They determine the order in which the trucks are built, which is why the raw, naked cabs have to be in the right order here too. And because they're already painted, care must be taken to avoid scratching them.
The forks of the forklift truck are fitted with special protective guards. This ensures they don't come into direct contact with the cabs and scratch them. The freight wagons are custom built so that the cabs fit exactly and don't get damaged during transport.
There are 3 different cab sizes available and 650 color options. The most popular color? White. Once properly ordered, they immediately head to the factory by truck.
It's vital that the cabs arrive at the factory on time. Although we have a buffer of around 40 cabs, we have to maintain a continuous supply. Otherwise, production would grind to a halt, and that would be a big problem.
Agreed delivery dates could be missed, which would be disastrous for customer relations and their brand image. All the components that make up the Volvo FH are now on their way to the factory. The truck plant consists of 4 main sections. The fitting center, a huge tire and rim warehouse. The market adaptation center for the seemingly infinite customizations and special requests. The cab trim, the large cab assembly building, and the vast main assembly building, the heart of the factory. The truck is assembled here in the 75,000 square meter main assembly building. At the center of the building, the twin track assembly line, 420 meters long. Piece by piece, 1,000 workers assemble one of the most popular trucks in the world, the Volvo FH. It consists of 3 main sections. The steel chassis forms the basis. In the middle, the heart of the brake system, the air compressor. The axles are fitted to the chassis. The number depends on the customer's requirements. Then comes the mighty engine. The last major section needed to complete the truck is the cab, each one unique. Everything begins with the steel girders. Until recently in containers at the port, a side loader forklift now transports them into the main assembly building. A side support measures 5.5 to 12.5 meters in length, depending on the truck version. 2 side supports form the subframe of the FH, the chassis. 2 workers start by applying a simple white adhesive tape to the side supports. This will act as a guide. They then mount a cross support. It connects the long side supports. And now, the sticker tape comes into play.
It's there so that the assembly line workers know exactly where they have to put which bolts.
There are over 50 different bolts, screws, and rivets, and the side support can have up to 330 holes. Lots of room for costly error. Production manager Koen Leemans has an overview of the entire production operation, and he knows a mistake made at the beginning could have fatal consequences.
What the workers do here is very important. It's the start of production. All of the downstream assembly is based on this frame. Everything done afterwards depends on the workers here correctly installing every part.
A single rivet in the wrong place, and further down the assembly line, another part will no longer fit. The consequence? Production stoppage instead of a smooth mega manufacture. Up to 1,000 cable ties per truck have to wrap around the right cables. Otherwise, it may be impossible to mount the engine or the cab on the chassis later on. Around 1,500 individual parts are installed in 210 operations over the next 8 hours, from the simple unadorned chassis to a state-of-the-art truck. Each of the trucks that rolls off the assembly line here in Ghent each day needs this part, the air pressure monitor, a piece of equipment essential for the braking system. These hoses carry the air, and because every truck is unique, a different combination of hoses are required for each model. A machine cuts a specific set for each truck from a choice of 20 kilometers of varying thickness of hose each day. They now have to be attached to the air compressor. But the variety of hose means no two fixes are the same. Keeping track here is critical, or it can be very dangerous.
If you make a mistake here, a vital part of the truck won't work. This device modulates the braking force, so it's crucial that I attach everything properly. There's a code here that tells me which hose has to go where. This has to be done right. Otherwise, the control system can lock up, or the brakes fail. This is the heart of the entire brake system.
The air compressor is now ready to be installed in our chassis, one of approximately 42,000 each year. Installation requires absolute precision. If a hose doesn't sit properly or has a kink, it will prevent the entire truck working. Done. All the small components are installed, but these steps could be carried out differently in the future.